Many styles of music that we listen to today originated from the Harlem Renaissance. The strange thing was, white people back then, the white community, did not really listen to this music. But as time grew on and we entered this phase called the Harlem Renaissance, new musics, new dances, new arts came into being, like strange poems and stuff. But see, jazz originated from African American folk and blues music, mixed with syncopated and occasionally forced rhythms. The style of music grew rapidly in use and popularity in the black community. Soon the white society caught on and started listening to such music, and they started to enjoy it. They found it more enjoyable than their white counterparts. And so to the point where white artists started creating black music. Through music, jazz brought people of all races together, making it one of the most important and prominent factors in the Harlem Renaissance. William James, nicknamed Count Basie, was a wildly popular jazz pianist, organist, bandleader, and composer. During the 1920s, he was based in Harlem, the hotbed of jazz, and toured with several acts during the time. Towards the end of the decade, Basie moved on to Kansas City to work with Benny Moten, who wanted to raise his band to Duke Ellington's level of prestige. After Moten's death, Basie formed his own band with many of the same players, but a new sound. It was often characterized by having a jumping beat. In the late 30s, Basie took his group back to New York, where, while they couldn't fill the void left by Ellington and Henderson, they received much acclaim and success in Queens.
Hey folks, here's a story about Minnie the Moocher.
Cab Calloway, performing until he died in 1994, was arguably the most successful African-American singer of the era, and a successful bandleader in his own right. In 1931, while Duke Ellington was on tour, Calloway and his orchestra were invited to play at the Cotton Club, the premier jazz venue in Harlem. With black performers and a white audience, his orchestra grew to the popularity of Ellington's band, causing NBC to give them twice-weekly broadcasts, and the Cotton Club to have Ellington and Calloway share the house. When he wasn't leading his orchestra, Calloway led a wildly successful singing career, both in person and in animated shorts such as Betty Boop, leading him and Ellington to be the two most broadcasted jazz musicians of their time.
Don't know why.
Although she wasn't the only woman from the Harlem Renaissance, few women did more than Lena Horne. At 16, she joined the Cotton Club, a place where African Americans can thereby show their music to the white community. There, under the wing of Adelaide Hall, she began her very prominent jazz and performance career. By the end of her career, Lena Horne was featured in dozens of movies, shows, and bands, including those led by famous Duke Ellington and Cab Calloway.
Never treats me.
Arguably and controversially the best band leader of the time, Duke Ellington made a name for himself in the Cotton Club in Harlem. Through his efforts of collaborating with other composers of the time, Ellington was able to write thousands of pieces of jazz music. His work in the genre is only second to Louis Armstrong, with some of his most famous pieces being In Sentimental Mood and I Got It Bad. To be renowned enough to have Al Capone capture someone for his birthday party is pretty impressive. Fats Waller is one such person. He was one of the most well-known artists and composers of the time period for his piano playing and his composition. Waller was most famous for his song Ain't Misbehavin', which made it to the top of charts multiple times, including the rendition done by Louis Armstrong. Louis Armstrong, to date, is the world's most prominent figure in both the jazz community and the Harlem Renaissance. Armstrong was the first African-American to truly have his skin color be second to his music. In 1922, he went to Chicago and became a phenomenon, most notably for his ability to blow 200 high Cs in a row. 2 years later, he moved to New York and became a nationwide sensation, to the point where Duke Ellington's band would make an effort to see him. During the 30s, he pioneered scat singing, and his velvety low register influenced white artists such as Bing Crosby. Even in his later life, he collected many awards and recognition, such as 19 Top 10 awards, including a Hello Dolly, which he won a Grammy for, and later had 11 songs inducted into the Grammy Hall of Fame, recognizing their historical significance and recognizing him as the prominent figure he was. Music was the most prominent of all arts that broke down the color barrier during the phenomenon known as the Harlem Renaissance. The swing of jazz brought together people of all races and ultimately more African-American cultures. was being brought into white
I
society.
see them blue for me and you, and I think to myself, what a wonderful